on, motherfuckers? This is A.O. Storm welcoming you to another Etiquette For Aholes podcast. Podcast where we talk about a-holes. Seems pretty straightforward, pretty simple there. Want to remind you, we're not selling you anything. We don't have any ads. It's just us talking. I take that back. I'd love it if you bought the book Etiquette For Aholes over on Amazon. So there, that was our ad. Hopefully that wasn't too painful. The no ads thing is by design. It's this isn't, this podcast is meant to be a community. It's 10 to 15 minutes long, and every day, every weekday. And the point is to, just be a little something put on people's minds each day, or, be a sounding board for you guys to tweet at us. Twitter's at E4Aholes, at the letter E, the number 4, Aholes. Tweet us what's going on, what drives you crazy, Do you agree with the little jag I just went on? Do you disagree? Am I stupid? Am I smart? Whatever it is. Whatever you want to chime in. Maybe you want me to talk about something I haven't talked about before. Maybe you just want to complain and have me retweet it. Whatever it is. But it's meant to be a community. It's not for advertising. It's for you guys. That's why we're here. As for that intro, the motherfuckers part, it's a pretty heavy word, to start things off, and probably turn some people off and get them to not listen, which I hope is not the case. But there's a reason for it. Heck, it's just words coming out of our mouth. We'll get into that more in an offensive language podcast down the line. But anyway, there's a reason I talk about it. There's a reason I use it at the start of each show, and the reason, whether you agree with it or not, is that I had an older brother, and that he would pepper his speech with that from time to time. Think of that what you will, but it's brothers and boys, and not so much when our parents were around, but it would find its way out there when they weren't around. And I looked up to him, and he died. He was killed by a drunk driver when I was a teenager. And I use the word motherfuckers as a little totem, a way to keep him with me here and there on the rest of this ride of life, And you might think that's insane and whatever, but I mean, it's people, wearing an article of clothing, or going on a special vacation, or maybe the food they eat, or a tattoo, or a song. When you lose somebody that's important to you, you find a way to carry them with you, whatever that may be, and for me, that word is motherfuckers. So, hopefully you can get past it long enough to listen, because that's going to lead us into today's topic, which is the a-holes that are drunk drivers. And I know that's a straw man. Come on, who's in favor of drunk driving? That's insane. Who's going to argue against you? I would hope nobody would argue against me, but there's a hell of a lot of people out there that drive drunk, to the point that it needs to be talked about, because whatever the message is not getting through. In the 50s, big old Cadillacs, or hell, I don't know, cars, 60s, Mad Men era, whatever it is, you caught me. I don't know cars. But the days of the salesman and the big old boat of a car, or the tank, that they would drive, and, they're out having a nightcap, and then they're going to drive home. It's just a short drive, and there won't be cars on the road, and he'll be fine. The days of that kind of novelty, drunk driving, those are over. We're a long ways past those. And in almost a more dangerous way now, I guess. There's way more people on the road. There's way more ways to be drunk or altered. You got your Lunestas and your Ambiens and your prescription pills. We love our microbrews. We love our wine. Pot's legal, more and more legal. And I'm game on for all of it, folks. Whatever you need, whatever you want to do, have fun, do your thing, so be it. Just don't get behind the wheel. It's, forget even the ways to be altered. We also got our cell phones and our in-dash, basically computers and stuff. and cars go faster and more effortlessly. Driving 70 in that Cadillac, it felt like the whole thing was about to explode. But you could get to 70 now in any new car. I don't care if it's a Mercedes or a Kia or a Toyota or whatever the hell you want it to be. You can get to 70 in a blink and it's like you're riding on a cloud. You'd never know you were going that fast. But either way, you're still driving a car that weighs a couple of thousand pounds that's a missile. And you shouldn't be doing it when you're distracted. And you certainly shouldn't be doing it when you're drunk. But we do it. And we do it because we don't want to be inconvenienced. We don't want to leave a car, at the bar. Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. These minor, silly little reasons that we let go. Friends and family and people around will let people go and say, you know what, he's fine. Because they don't want the argument. They don't want the uncomfortableness that comes from confronting somebody and taking their keys away. Come on, be cool. That's hard as hell to do. And people won't do it. They'll justify it and they'll rationalize it, and then somebody gets behind the wheel, which, by the way, where they're the safest, when shit goes bad, it's rarely the driver that's getting the bad end of it. It's, sadly, cars are built to protect the driver more than anything, which is amazing. Airbags and side curtain airbags and new cars with automatic braking and alarms when you drift into a lane. Any number of ways to keep the driver safe, but that's not keeping the guy on his bike safe or the family walking on the sidewalk, or the person driving in their own lane and drunk guy drifts over the center line and it's a head-on collision. That person didn't do anything wrong. They did absolutely nothing wrong, and now they're dead, or they're a vegetable, or their life is absolutely ruined, and their whole family's life is ruined. And why? Because you were too stupid to make a good decision when we have Uber, and we have cabs, and we have cell phones to call friends and family, and we have any number of ways to get home safely without doing that. And plan ahead. You're going to go out and get hammered? Go get hammered. Plan ahead. Figure it out. But don't penalize the rest of us. Don't go out there and just be a loaded gun out on the highway. And hell, maybe you are a selfish asshole and whatever, and that's who you're going to be. You're just an a-hole. Say, 99.9% of the time nothing's going to happen. But if you get caught, you know how expensive DUIs are? And what you're going to have to pay on your insurance? Plus, they're going to tow your car anyway. I mean, hell, for you, who doesn't seem to care about other people, that may be worse for you than clipping a guy. You may be able to rationalize running over a person, but when you got to shell out $5,000 and there's a lawyer and alcohol deferment and the money to get your car out of hock, that sounds pretty rough to me. Basically, there's any number of reasons not to do it, and yet people still do it. So, what I challenge, in which I'm certain zero people will take me up on, is that, I love Twitter. What I would like people to do, and be honest with themselves, if you've ever driven drunk or high and made that bad decision, simply tweet #IDroveDrunk. That's it. Just, acknowledge it, and it's a bad decision. Everything's fine. Hopefully nothing bad happened. And you got away with one. But type that out. See how that feels to type that out and really come to terms with it, to that horrible decision you made. And even if you have the balls to type it out even and look at it for a minute, I don't think anyone will send it, because that's where the real heat comes in, because you're basically having to share with your friends and family, I made this terrible decision. Judge me. Look how stupid I am that I did this thing that everybody agrees is stupid, yet everybody does it because we're too chicken shit to get into fights. So that's my challenge. Tweet or put on your Facebook or whatever, #IDroveDrunk. See how that feels. It's not going to feel very good. And the reason I want you to do it, it's fine. You'll get over it. You can tell the story. You can rationalize it. But I want that to sit with every person that sends it out so that they think about it the next time they go out and they have fun. Think about how that felt. Think about how it felt to admit to the world you made that stupid decision. Have it sit with you just enough so you don't do it again. That's it. Nothing big. No real harm will come from it. You're not going to lose any friends or whatever. People may look at you differently for a little bit, but you deserve that. Just because you got away with it doesn't mean it's okay. So that's my challenge, folks. And I know this is a heavy podcast and whatever, but it's an important conversation. Share it with your friends. Share it with your kids. I suppose you can bleep out the motherfucker, but I would imagine if you're talking to your kids about drinking and driving, is the word motherfucker really the most important thing? Whatever. Do what you got to do, but have the conversation because it's important and it'll save lives. Next week, tomorrow, we'll come with something a little bit lighter. Hopefully make you chuckle a little bit, but today I wanted to make you think. I wanted to make you think. So, thanks for listening. This is AO Storm reminding you to be a good person.